How are you, Dan?
Doing good, Rich. Yeah, this should be, you know what? It's going to kind of be a contrast of series with the Yankees and the Astros, the last one, that bullpen game 6. This is the more traditional way.
Oh, isn't it?
Two teams with each with 3 really good starters, and it doesn't get any better than Cole and Scherzer in game 1. Garrett Cole, big statement. I think he's going to be the first $40 million pitcher when he hits the free agent market. Rich, I've been following big league baseball since 1986, and this spans Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan. I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher with the arsenal that Garrett Cole has right now. He's that good.
He is that good. Are you surprised, though, that he's a Game 1 starter, not a Game 3 starter? Because that would mean he could go in Game 7. Are you surprised about that decision from A.J. Hinch, Dan Plesac?
No, I don't think so. You know what I think? It's more keeping these guys on their normal rest and their normal routine. And I feel like this has a chance. And I know that that like Vegas thinks that the Nationals don't have much of a shot. I think they do. But I think it's going to be imperative for the Nationals to get out of here. One of these 2 games, they can't go back down 0-2 to Nationals ballpark because this Astros team is just too good. But this is a really good Nationals team. And we talked a couple of weeks ago, the one team that scared everybody, including the Dodgers, would be the Nats if they got in. They got in, and Steven Strasburg and Scherzer right now throwing as good as Verlander and Cole. This could be a dynamite World Series.
And, I mean, that's the matchup for Game 2, too, right? I mean, it's Verlander versus Strasburg and then Scherzer versus Cole. But it just seems to me that, I don't know, Dan, I've been following the game for a long time, too. I didn't play it like you. It just seems to me back in the day, Game 3 was the start. You got to put your best starter in Game 3, certainly if you put him on the road in Game 3. So you got a Game 7. Now it just seems like this is the version of analytics, like we just take it game to game, inning to inning, pitcher to pitcher, matchup to matchup. Doesn't matter how many times that you've been through the order back in the day. Now that's what matters. Is that's what happening here? They got to get to Game 1 and then just deal with Game 2 when you get to it? Dan?
I think what it is more, Rich, I think in this spot is, I think A.J. Hinch, he realizes that he has a guy that's really hot right now in Garrett Cole, and he'd like to keep him on that 5-day rotation. We've made a lot of guys coming back on short rests, and pitchers and baseball players in general are creatures of habit. They like to stay on a 5-day routine. I think the game is looked at differently than it was even, say, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, where you looked at the 10-game series, the 7-game series as a whole, and you kind of strategically plan, like, what would be the best way to maximize our starters? But I think what we're seeing now, baseball in 2019 is win tonight's game, worry about tomorrow's game tomorrow, and if all else fails, we'll turn it over. We'll do a bullpenning type of game, like what happened Game 6 between the Astros and Yankees. I wasn't surprised. I think right now, if you were the Astros and if I were A.J. Hinch, there's no doubt I would run Garrett Cole up. He's the closest thing in the sport right now to a sure thing. Now, with that said, he's due for a clunker. He's been unbelievably good for almost 3 months. But I think if I were A.J. Hinch, I probably would do this. When you have 2 guys like Cole and Verlander, the guy that surprised me, Rich, Zach Greinke hasn't been as good in an Astro uniform as I thought he was going to be. I thought at the trade deadline when they acquired Zach Greinke, I thought it was over. Just mail it in. The Astros were going to get to the World Series, and they were going to win it easily. Zach Greinke hasn't been the Zach Greinke that we're used to. So Game 3 isn't exactly, I think, if you look at it like, I would almost favor Patrick Corbin over Zach Greinke in a Game 3.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.